Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hello,
everyone.
Oh, my name is David Bell.
I'm Tom Ryman.
And we just watched Night of the Lepus.
Night of the Lepus.
Lepus. Because the trailer, I watched the trailer, they say Lepus.
Yeah, they say Lepus in the film, too, several times.
Well, then that's what it is.
What happened that night science made its greatest mistake? What unknown terror was born that night? What is the terrifying mutant that strikes from behind the shroud of night?
It's the rabbit one, guys.
Yeah, it's the giant rabbit movie.
Yeah, I liked the better. I like Lepus better because it feels like someone, they were like, that's the scientific name for a rabbit. And I like the idea of someone seeing a rabbit a long time ago and being like, that's a leapy doofus. You know what?
Yep.
Let's call it a Lepus.
I'm going home for the day.
Yeah. Shit. I gotta look up which Patreon subscriber made us watch this.
Shit.
Guys, it's Thursday, which means
so we just watched Classic.
Yeah. This is brought to you by Bob Grenville. Not his real name. He doesn't want anybody to know his real name. Which is fine and understandable.
Yeah, that's fine.
He's
just pick a totally real name for your alias.
No, it's all one word. He's ashamed of us is the point, Tom.
It's a solid alias.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, so we have patrons demanding us to watch a movie, and this was the movie that was demanded of us. Tom, had you seen this movie before?
No.
Neither had I. But I knew about it because it's, everybody knows about it. Everybody knows about they made a movie about giant rabbits. What did you think of it?
This movie was a blur.
Yeah.
This movie is 88 minutes long that somehow felt like 300 hours.
Well, all right, here's the thing.
Yeah.
This movie is like it's like it's like a bronze statue of a dead owl where like I'm glad it exists, but I can't think of a practical use for it. Like I don't know where to put it.
Right. Like you get a solid owl like mid-death throw.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not going to put that in my house.
Dip that thing in bronze, and you're like, well, that's, that took that took a little bit of skill to make, I guess, but I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, and it's like kind of fun that it exists.
Yeah.
That's kind of where this is.
The idea of the bronze owl is more fun than actually like experiencing the bronze owl.
It's like this is like an art house film where you like some like where the point is that it exists, where it's a completely serious movie about giant rabbits.
Yes.
And that doesn't work.
It's simultaneously the film's greatest strength and most glaring weakness.
Yeah, because again, the broad strokes, the existence of this movie is hilarious.
Yes.
And it does have a few parts that I found hilarious as well.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But generally like you said, like my eyes started to gloss over at times.
Particularly because one of the two lead actors, there's a rancher and then there's a researcher and his family. And the guy that plays the researcher has the most droning monotone.
Yes. Yeah, this is a good go-to-bed movie. Like, you know how, like,
for sure.
in like, the X-Files or, like, in everything ever, characters will watch, like, movies from the 50s for some reason. And it's like, why are you doing that? And they're usually like going to sleep while they do it. I'm thinking of Agent Mulder. I get it. It's like it's a good bedtime thing to put on because of that droning voice. But one of the people, it's Rory Calhoun is in it.
Sure.
Janet Leigh is in it. That threw me right off.
Yes, she is.
I was like, holy shit, Janet, no. And then fucking DeForest Kelly.
Yeah. DeBonest Kelly.
DeBonest Kelly playing Ron Swanson.
Pretty much. He looks a lot like Ron Swanson.
It's one of my favorite things about movies from this era where all the authorities are just like schlubby beat red dudes. Like none of them, like they all look like, like a light jog will kill them. And there's like the army is schlubby dudes. The cops are all schlubby dudes. I really, as a schlubby dude, I really appreciate that to be represented like this.
Yeah. You got a lot of representation.
Yeah.
Us schlubs.
Yeah. It's really nice.
Right up until like 2004?
Yeah, something like that. And then they were like,
maybe a little earlier.
Wait, why are we doing this?
Why the hell are these guys in movies? Get out of here.
Get out of here, Kevin Costner.
I know Ganser points this out a lot, but you used to be able to be bald in movies.
Yeah, there's no...
Not anymore.
Yeah, there's no just like bald dudes with glasses.
Get the hell out of here, bald guys.
Yeah. We're not having it. It's really silly. Like,
and I don't mean bald like Vin Diesel or The Rock. I mean balding. Like Kevin from The Office.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think we'll get back to it at some point. I'm trying to think of the last time a balding dude. I think The Lost World. What's his name? Eddie?
Richard Schiff.
Yeah. Like where he was like kind of doing action scenes. And it was like, yeah, go balding guy.
Yep.
Good job.
Balding man in a windbreaker.
Right.
Doing an action scene with 2 tyrannosaurs.
Right. I'm looking up facts about this movie. Someone named I. Stanford Jolly is in it and plays a dispatcher.
I miss when dudes were named that.
Yeah. I'm just looking up awesome names. Oh, apparently, hold on, a guy named Paul Fix. What is going on here?
I don't know, but that's also, what is that name?
Oh,
that's
Paul
not
Fix
a real
as
name.
Sheriff Cody.
That guy's totally a
apparently
Paul Fix.
He was also chief medical officer on the USS Enterprise in Star Trek. There's 2 Star Trek actors in this.
Oh, he might have been the old doctor.
Yeah, maybe. There's a Sheriff Cody. Didn't I see? I think there was like an Officer Brad or something as well. There was it was like 2 first name ones. It doesn't.
I mean,
matter.
there's another cop that has like glorious helmeted hair and a huge mustache.
Yeah,
and he's also a schlub. Like
it's a real schlubby movie.
It's a schlub fest.
Yeah, it's an absolute schlub fest. I guess we should talk about what happens. The first thing that happens in the movie is a horse gets shot.
Right, like the first, the rabbits claim their very first victim without even having to grow giant.
Yes.
Like we meet one of the 2 leads, who is this rancher, who is that weird age that people were in like the 60s and 70s, where he could be 60 or he could be 42.
Right. I think it's that he's 40, but he's been smoking like 3 packs a day since he was 12.
Right. Yeah. He's just a cloud of menthol is around him at all times.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like stained wallpaper in a retirement home.
Yes, exactly. There's a lot of, I want to use the term ageless to describe these people, but not in a positive way.
No,
just
definitely aged.
Yes, but also ageless.
Right, in a way it's impossible to determine just how old they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's riding his horse across his ranch, and his horse steps in a rabbit hole and just fucking snaps its leg in half.
Shit.
Yeah.
What I like about this scene, because then he has the horse on the ground and he takes out his gun and blows its head off. The horse they use is clearly fine. Like it's
he holds it down.
Yeah, he has to hold it down. It's clearly a stunt horse, and I wonder what that horse is thinking, because then he takes out a gun, and I just imagine the horse being like, "Hey guys, I'm fine, guys,
I'm fine.
Oh my god,
oh my god, see." Yeah.
They don't show the horse. Like they don't kill a horse, I'm pretty sure. I think they traumatize a lot of rabbits while making this movie.
Oh, there's definitely the movie actually begins with weird
stock footage, news footage.
Stock footage narrated by some guy talking about how much rabbits suck.
Yeah, which is pretty great. My cat freaked out seeing all them rabbits running around, so that was good. We were both able to enjoy it.
And so it uses footage from that, where it's people doing rabbit herding and stuff, where it's Yeah, it is just people like running after huge swaths of rabbits, shooting guns, like panicking them into fences.
Yeah, which I suspect was just news footage, but they obviously had to get the rabbits for later for the effects shots and then in the lab. Yeah. I love the part where they drive by the stock footage later because they had to show them killing rabbits, and it's just a little girl in the car just gets absolutely traumatized.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great moments where children are psychologically damaged,
and also physically.
And also physically, yes. I really appreciated that. Also, the horse being killed in the beginning. If you think that's the only time you'll see a horse die, it's not.
Oh, you are sadly mistaken.
Yeah.
I texted Dave after I'd finished this movie, and it says you will be delighted at the number of horse and at the amount of horse and child death because neither figure is less than zero or is zero.
Yeah, it's neither figure is less than like one. Like there are a lot of
yeah. There's several.
Yeah,
there's at least 2 dead kids, and I don't know how many dead horses.
Yeah, there's
a lot of dead horses.
Fucking bushel of dead horses in this. And they show the dead kids, which I don't think movies today do that. You know?
Yeah, this is this is like one of those PG movies from back when like a movie like Jaws was PG,
right?
So, like, the violence in the film isn't far off from what you see in Jaws.
Jaws also showing a kid get fucking murdered.
Oh, hell yeah.
We don't do that anymore. We really don't. Like, we'll kill kids still, but we don't, like, on screen. Which is, I don't know, I guess better. Depends on your view. But, yeah, they show 2, like, kid corpses covered in blood in this. The rabbits.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And then, of course, the trauma, that little girl who sees all the rabbits get shot, they just keep her around a lot.
They do. And she's actually the cause for... she causes the giant rabbit outbreak.
Yeah. What's happening is, all right, they go to this scientist and they need help at the ranch to control the population of rabbits. So they grab a bunch of rabbits, they bring them to a lab, and they're trying to make them not fuck anymore. Or not fuck as well. And then the little girl they just have at the lab too. And then she's like, I want a rabbit. And they're like, okay, young girl. And they just let her take one of the wild rabbits.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you shouldn't do any of that. This is some top-notch child endangerment. How does that lead to the? I'm trying to remember how that leads.
She swaps the rabbits out. Like they.
Oh, she accidentally takes one of the shitty rabbits.
Well, she doesn't accidentally. She does it on purpose.
Oh.
The rancher goes to DeBonist Kelly, and it's like, look, DeBonist, I've got to get rid of these rabbits. I don't want to poison them because that'll poison everything out here, but I need to figure out how to get rid of them. And DeBonist says, well, I know this researcher who's like working on like no kill or like not no kill but no poison insect control by using bats.
Right.
So let me go. His research depends on bats. So let me go ask this guy if he's got any ideas for rabbits. So they decide to inject the rabbits with this hormone that's going to give them birth defects.
Yeah.
It's like real brutal what the idea is. It's like, oh yeah, we'll inject all these things with this hormone that's going to give them all birth defects and then release them into the wild. So eventually they'll just breed this hormone into the rabbits,
right? And
they'll all just die horribly.
Yeah.
So he grabs.
Oh no! Go on.
He injects one rabbit, and the little girl's like, "That's my favorite." I don't know how the fuck she can tell them all apart. And he's like, whatever, and he just injects with the hormone anyway. And then while they're not looking, she swaps that rabbit that was her favorite with one from the control group, and then asks, "Can I have one of the rabbits that's not injected?"
Right.
And the mom's like, I guess you can have a control rabbit. So she engineers the deaths of all of these people because she wanted a stupid fucking rabbit.
Right, and she's one of the
they're all
kids
the
who
same.
don't
They're all
die.
the same, kid.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't die.
Yeah. I get just explaining that because one of my questions was, what is the problem with these rabbits? Meaning, all right, they're rabbits, and then they're giant, and they turn on humans immediately. There's the scene that was so good where they're descending on this town and the woman's looking at the window like, what is that? and a rabbit dives headfirst through the window, Superman's through the window and murders this lady. And like that rabbit was clearly running for like half a mile, just like, I'm gonna fucking get this woman.
It's just zeroed in on that lady.
They later show them eating like vegetables, but that's not what they do at first. They first clear out the area of people. They are pissed at people, and I guess they have a right to be.
I suppose, but they kill horses too. They
they know that people ride horses. Probably they see those fuckers riding on horses, shooting at them and stuff. And then they went to a lab, and they're just like, you know what? This sucks. We're as big as wolves or houses, depending on the shot.
Depending on the shot, they're as big as large dogs, horses, or houses,
or rabbits. Did you see this?
And sometimes they're the size of rabbits.
There's a shot where they're all going down like a dirt road, and they're running, and you can see they're supposed to be giant at this point, but you can see tire marks that are clearly scale them down.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
This movie can't decide how big the rabbits are. Because when they attack people, they're frequently the size of large dogs or bears.
Yeah, I would argue that...
And then when they show the exterior shots, the size of goddamn buildings.
Yeah, I would argue this movie didn't have the resources to figure out a size. Most of the rabbit attacks are like either composite shots without humans, or like close-ups of rabbits' faces mixed with a guy in what looks like a knockoff bear outfit. Tackling somebody,
smacking with his rabbit paws.
Yeah, like a lot. I loved how like the first couple rabbit scenes are just close-ups of rabbits' faces, and people going ah.
Yeah, and they'll put like a little bit of blood on the rabbit, and they're like ah.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
This this movie sucks ass except for the rabbit attacks.
Yeah, the rabbit attacks are hardcore.
Every rabbit attack is hilarious.
Yeah. This movie came out 3 years before Jaws.
I know.
It feels like it came out like in the 60s.
I mean, it's pretty close to, it's like 72, so it's like close to the 60s. But man, it's so dull in between each rabbit attack.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's a real slog.
I liked when the guy ran up to the priest. Civilians in this are trusting and really shouldn't be. The guy runs up to the priest to the car, and he's just like, the priest is like, "What's wrong?" And he says, "If I told you, Father, you'd think I'd be drinking." And the father's like, "All right, well, get in." And it's like, well, he probably could have. He might have robbed a liquor store. Like, all right, get in. And then there's a scene later where the cops and the schlubby army drive into a drive-in movie theater, and the cop gets out of the car in front of all the other cars and gets on the fucking megaphone and is like, "Killer rabbits are coming this way. We need all your help." And nobody questions it?
No, they all just are like, well, I guess, if the army says so.
Yeah, or this one cop says so.
All right, this one cop, if Paul Fix says so.
Yeah, and then they drive their cars, which they show have children in them. Like, they go out of their way to show, like, yeah, there's children here. And create a line of cars to help stop the rabbits. So they use a line of confused civilians as bait. But it's okay because they're like, be sure to roll up your windows.
Yeah.
And it's fine then.
Even though we saw a rabbit just go totally horizontal, head first through a window.
And all those civilians...
Just Superman dive.
All those civilians must be like, do they really mean rabbits? Is that... Huh. And then
maybe we heard them wrong.
Yeah.
Roll the windows up anyway.
Yeah. Just sitting there being bait before a goddamn army of rabbits come launching towards them.
Right. They use the cars to herd them. This is truly
I really appreciated how they killed the rabbits.
Yeah, the death of the rabbits is truly excellent.
Yeah. It's smart. I liked it.
Really, every time a rabbit is killed in this movie, it is the funniest thing in the world.
100%. Because you could tell they didn't actually hurt the rabbits. They had like some stuffed shit.
Right, they're these very obvious dummy rabbits because the rabbits will people shoot them and they'll like explode with fake blood, but they're like totally rigid. They're like they're like rictus.
Yeah,
they
probably were alive rabbits at some point that they got from like a taxidermy.
Rabbits. But a lot of them will just burst with blood and then spiral through the air.
Yeah,
it's oh my gosh,
it's pretty excellent.
And it doesn't happen just once or twice. It happens dozens of times.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of rabbits.
A lot of rabbits get killed in this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of giant rabbit death.
Yeah, the way they do it is they take train tracks and electrify them, which I was do. What a great idea. And they bait the rabbits with civilians and children to run towards the track, and then they just gun them down as they're falling into the... I don't know why the rabbits didn't run the other way, but they didn't. They just stampede into an electric train track, and I can't imagine like that smoldering pile that was left of giant rabbits, what that would be like. They like, again, I love
it's
okay. So hold on.
I'm holding.
Okay, I really want to paint a picture of the civilian side, because when the cop comes, this drive-in is watching a Tom and Jerry cartoon, I think.
I believe so.
And so they showed that there's kids in a lot of the cars. So what has happened is these families went to the drive-in to have a nice night with their kids and watch some cartoons. And then a single cop showed up, told them to all follow them, talked about killer rabbits. They all lined up, much like a drive-in theater. They have all lined up now for the show.
They're about to watch a show of a different sort.
Yes, with their children to see a bunch of fluffy bunny rabbits get horribly electrocuted and shot to death by the army.
Oh my gosh. There's extended shots of rabbits just getting electrocuted, exploding, again spiraling through the air like rigid tops. They're catching on fire.
Oh yeah,
and then the army is shooting them.
Yeah, it's almost as if they like wanted to reflect, because they set it up with the little girl driving by the people doing the rabbit murder.
Yeah, they herd them into a fence. Yeah,
the rabbit massacre. So it's like a reflection of the end, where more children watch more rabbits get killed in bigger ways.
Giant rabbits.
Yeah. Did you notice
that smells like hell?
Yeah. Did you notice the shots of the flamethrower? Some fucker, some enthusiastic guy brought his flamethrower. But the weird thing is, all the shots of the flamethrower were in black and white. Did you notice that?
I did not. No.
It was really weird. They kept showing these. They clearly got stock footage of a flamethrower that they intercut.
Yeah.
But they couldn't get color footage, so it's really weird. But I love that it was there, where they're like, "Oh, we got to make sure people know that they're lighting these rabbits on fire as well."
Get that guy in here. Everybody knows rabbits hate fire.
Yeah, just
better bring that flamethrower.
Roasting those little bunnies. Well, not little. Yeah. Oh man.
That's sort of the point of the film.
Yeah, it's fair. That's fair.
This movie, the funniest thing that stuck out to me is this movie is that it's a joint production between Australia and America. And they begin the movie with this documentary footage, and they're talking about how rabbits are a plague in Australia and New Zealand, and they mention it a few times in the film. Right. This movie is anti-rabbit propaganda.
Oh, 100%. It's based off a book called The Year of the Angry Rabbit. Can you guess what country that book is from?
Probably Australia.
It's Australian. It's an Australian book about evil rabbits. It's absolutely propaganda. The MGM... I was reading about it. The movie was originally called Rabbits, and they decided that that's too non-menacing. And they didn't want... It literally says, to further prevent the audience from thinking of cuddly bunnies, they changed the name. The theatrical posters featured no rabbits, instead displaying only eyes. They didn't want people to know it was rabbits. The trailers apparently didn't show rabbits. The press release...
What a shock this must have been.
Yeah, the press release mentioned them as mutants. It's really just that like, it is anti-rabbit propaganda to the point that they watched it and they're like, man, people are going to be mad.
People aren't going to buy this.
Yeah, we better fucking pretend it's something else. And so we get them in there. You know, they're going to see these schlubby guys and fall in love, and then they'll be on their side.
Yeah. And the line... Lepus, that's the Latin name for rabbit, is spoken more than once in the film.
Yeah.
They want to make sure we know and understand.
I wonder if that happened after they shot like the ADR in or something.
Oh, the ADR in this movie is glorious.
Yeah.
There's a couple of very obvious points.
Right. I'm just looking at more stuff. It was ketchup on the rabbits' faces.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So they just smeared ketchup on rabbits and then shot them at close. Man.
Rabbits like tomatoes. It's fine.
Yeah. No, it is fine. They, man, they do a lot of work. Like for the effects, they tried. They really tried. But I think this must be, I'm trying to figure out how this got made. Like who greenlit this, because they must have known it's got to be anti-rabbit propaganda.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like the American Farmers Union or something put up a lot of money. It's like, these rabbits are fucking up our crops. American people need to know the rabbits are a menace.
Yeah, if they're
not cute and cuddly, they're little fuckers.
If we're not careful, they could get giant. It's the funniest fucking idea.
It's ludicrous.
Yeah.
Like, the movie is on its face ludicrous. Like, your central monster is the least threatening animal. Like, this is an animal that exists solely to be prey.
Yeah. They're balls of meat. They're giant. They're big balls of meat with legs and a little brain. That are giant and conspicuous.
Right. If you look at like rabbits, like what do they eat? Oh, like plants and berries and stuff. What are their natural predators? Everything. Literally everything.
Yeah, everything.
All of them.
I have been bit by a rabbit, and they are assholes. Like, I get it. If rabbits became big, they would stop at nothing to kill you and your family. Like, that's what rabbits, they're sinister little fuckers.
Well, yeah, you can see the darkness in their eyes for sure.
Oh, yeah. But part of that is probably because they've been, they're nature's punching bag.
Yeah. And they know it. They know it.
So the moment, like, again,
like
that's
when a rabbit's born, it like wakes up and sees that it's a rabbit. It's like, fuck.
Yeah, it's like, I got rabbit. Damn it. Serves me right for being a serial killer in my last life.
Can I try again?
Yeah. Can I try again? Yeah, you can try again in a couple days. That's all you're gonna last.
Right. Can I be
first
what about
owl
like a
you meet?
falcon? Can I be a falcon?
Yeah. You could be inside of a falcon. Fucking rabbits. That's why this is kind of art, because again, this movie is more of a meme than anything else. I don't think a lot of people have seen it. I knew about it for my whole life, and the minute Janet Leigh and DeForest Kelley show up, I was like, really? Oh, so I didn't know that. Like, I had no idea who was
It's a whole
in
new
this.
ball game.
Yeah. Why would I know? Oh man, I'm looking at.
I'm
the
kind of at a
producer
loss. There's not...
I'm just looking into it. No, he.
Sure. Yeah. Let's go on this journey together.
Well, this is pretty fucking interesting. The producer of it, A.C. Lyles. All right, I want you to, without looking it up.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what he did. A lot. He produced only 9 episodes of the TV show Rawhide. I want you to guess what his last thing was that he worked on, that he produced.
Star Trek.
No, I'll give you a hint. It was in the 2000s.
Really?
Yeah. You want to know?
I'm dying to know.
It was Deadwood. He was the consulting producer on Deadwood.
Wow.
Yeah. They needed him.
What did they have to consult him on?
Fucked if I know. I'm trying to think if there any. There's a scene where there's horse scenes. There's horse death. Maybe they're like, we need a horse.
There's a lot of mustaches in this movie. Maybe he was their mustache consultant.
He might have been. Yeah. What a career. Good for him. Good for him. Yeah. This is tough.
Well, let's keep reading about this movie, because there's not much substantive stuff we can talk about. Like, this movie's ludicrous. It's an MST3K film for sure. I know they've done this. Did they do it? I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's what I was about to get to, is that the failing of this movie is that it doesn't quite work in my mind as an MST3K, because there's not. It's the broad strokes. It's the concept of it that's funny, is that they're dead serious throughout most of it, which makes me wonder, like, why do that? Like, I'm trying to research this movie while I'm talking about it, because I'm just trying to find an answer of, like, why did they decide to make it this serious.
It's
sort
know.
of post Giant Monsters, you know, like it's pre Jaws, so they're kind of trying to do what Jaws eventually did. I feel like they were trying to get a hit on their hands where it was like make something. I don't know.
It's definitely not. It's not even attempting to be campy. It's so serious,
right? Yeah, it's extremely. It's too serious.
Now, I don't know what provoked this movie. Outside of angry Australians, obviously, but
yeah, just like just like Jaws, it was based off of a book. So maybe they just had the book, and they're like, well, shit, you know, someone's gonna make this.
Yeah, but
what?
Why would you come to that conclusion? Like,
I don't know, man. I'm really reaching here.
I understand
I'm
why
looking up the
when
writers.
Jaws comes out, they're like buying. Oh, we got to buy the rights to this right away. Like this is obviously a movie. The Angry Rabbit movie.
Yeah,
We have to get to the bottom of this.
I don't know. I looked up the writers; they haven't done anything. I guess what I was getting to. Sorry, I got a little lost looking stuff up just now. But what I was getting to is that I feel like this could be a remake. I feel like you could do an awesome remake of this, and I feel like you could actually not change the tone. Because the more I think about this, the failing in my mind isn't that they're serious; it's that the effects weren't good enough to do what needs to be done for this, which is to have an awesome action movie. Like Jurassic Park type scenes where they're like in a Jeep and they're driving and there's a fucking giant rabbit behind them, and it's completely scary because that rabbit will kill them. Like, or like someone is able to like climb on one of the rabbits and ride it, and everybody's just like completely serious. Like I want the Fast and the Furious people to do this, to remake this. Like an awesome. I want The Rock in this movie and Vin Diesel.
But just make the rabbits like grizzly bear size, so you can like fist fight them, and like Jason Statham can kick them.
Oh God, you could kick a rabbit in the balls.
Yeah, right in his fucking rabbit nuts. You kidding me?
Yeah. And he could be like, what would he say? Like silly rabbit kicks are for rabbits.
Kicks are for balls.
Kicks are for balls. I mean, that's as good as anything else.
He kicks its nuts so hard the rabbit explodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then he catches its foot and puts it on a keychain.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
For good luck.
And it's a giant fucking foot.
Yeah, it's just a big foot. He like has to carry. It's just dragging it on the ground. Looks like he's carrying a purse.
No, I really think this is a good candidate because no one's gonna get upset if you remake this movie. I don't think. It doesn't it doesn't have to be that much different. Like you can throw a cowboy hat on Jason Statham, pretend he's American. Yeah. He doesn't even have to change his accent. It doesn't matter. What does it matter?
Yeah. Don't even attempt to make him do a voice. Definitely dress him up like a cowboy.
Yeah, 100%. Wouldn't that be weird?
I've never wanted to see something more in my life than Jason Statham dressed like a cowboy.
Has he ever dressed like a cowboy? Yeah,
no,
all right.
I don't know.
So beginning scene, Jason Statham is a cowboy. He's riding his horse. The horse falls. Instead of a gun, he kicks the horse to death.
He kicks its head off.
Yeah, he kicks its head off. And he does it like sadly. He's putting the horse down. It's his favorite
with tears
horse.
In his eyes.
Yeah, he kicks its head off.
And like dramatic music swells as the horse's head disappears over the horizon.
Right, and he goes to his friend.
And he goes like, "So long, old friend."
Yeah. Is DeForest Kelley still alive?
Oh, hell no.
Damn, I would have said
DeForest Kelley has been dead for literally 20 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, DeForest.
Yeah.
It's a shame. Yeah, literally 20 years. 1999. That's a shame. Who can we get to play DeForest Kelley?
We could get DeForest Kelley's Bones, and then it would be really...
We'd call him Bones, yeah.
People would really like that. People would really appreciate the joke there, that visual joke.
That's true.
I want to tell you what the original book was about.
Okay.
The book involved Australia dominating the world with a super weapon inadvertently created through the rabbits.
Fucking Australians. What are you up to?
What? I got to read this now.
Okay. What, the book? Yeah, I mean, we all should. The Year of the Angry Rabbit, it's called. The cover is a black and white picture of a rabbit's head with barbed wire behind it. It's a terrifying looking book. Like, this is a very intimidating book. Written by Russell Braddon, who kind of looks like a Peter Benchley. I think all authors at this time looked the same, though.
Right, yeah, they all kind of looked like that. Okay, the book is camp.
Right?
Yeah, the book is it says its pulp narrative was played for laughs and designed as an indictment of war, nationalism, and capitalism.
So how did it become a movie?
It was like well known for its comic horror tone.
So
then they made this movie that took out all of the humor.
Did they know they were being funny? Is that it? Like, did they?
I think so.
Were they like, we want to do this straightforward? Because again, the deaths are over the top. The deaths are gory. The deaths are campy.
Hilariously so.
They must have known while they were watching it that it was fucking funny. And they were like, but again, okay, if that were true, then why advertise it without the rabbits? Why try to hide the rabbits? Like, they should have known.
I don't think they were trying to be funny.
Yeah, the only thing they should have known, the only thing they had going for them was that it's giant rabbits. That's the only reason anybody would watch this fucking movie, right?
Right. Like, I think they looked at it like, hey, it's a science fiction picture. Like, they didn't, like, the idea of horror comedy back then was Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Like, it's...
Right.
It's that kind of slapstick goofball stuff. Like, I don't think movies understood that you could be like dark and satirical and have horror elements in a movie that is being played for laughs. Because I don't think that it happened yet. I'm sure there's some examples in maybe other countries, definitely not in America,
right.
Or at least no notable examples that I can immediately think of. Outside of something like Arsenic and Old Lace.
Right. I'm looking at some critical reviews. New York Times called it not an especially memorable movie, which is a really big insult when your movie's about rabbits who kill people.
About giant rabbits.
Yeah.
I disagree with that. It is an especially memorable movie.
It also said that it failed because of the rabbits, which I like. Like the idea of like, you know what you shouldn't have done. Had giant rabbits. Probably shouldn't have had the giant rabbits.
Probably shouldn't have been about giant rabbits.
Yeah, that was probably your problem. No, there's definitely people did notice the metaphors about overpopulation in this. Because it is. Like the first thing they start with, it was a weird thing to go to that news reel that we were talking about. He starts by talking about limited resources in the future and overpopulation, and it was like, oh, that's accurate. And then they're like, anyway, here's this movie about rabbits who kill. So like they clearly tried to have a message in it, which was
that sounds like an investigation discovery show.
Yeah,
rabbits who kill.
Like would it be about like evil evil rabbits, or like would it be about like deaths in the furry community?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think both.
Okay.
You're going to want to do a pool because you're not going to get. I don't think you're going to get enough from either one on its own to fill an entire season.
Right.
So
that's true.
Probably both. Mix it up.
Yeah.
Keep the audience on their toes.
Yeah. And again, God damn it, I get the instinct because like the birds existed.
Oh, you do.
Willard existed. I get the instinct of saying, what if we made these things scary, right?
What do both of those movies not do that this movie does?
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
The birds is the closest because Willard, rats, people are scared of rats already. Birds was a good idea because it's like, well, they're fucking all around us. What if they're suddenly pissed at us?
Yeah.
What if birds look down at us and you're like, I think we can take them. And then they try.
Yeah, they really go for it.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is when this was getting made, I'm sure that was brought up a lot. This movie is a good reminder of like you watch movies now, which we've watched many movies like this where you're just like, why did they do this?
Right. Why does this exist?
Yeah. Why did they think this was a good idea? And it's a nice reminder that movies probably haven't gotten worse. We just remember the good ones that are older.
Oh,
more.
Yeah. We remember the ones that have stood the test of time.
Yeah.
I mean, there are movies that came out 4 years ago that I'm sure we have completely forgotten existed.
Mm-hmm. Like it's the thing where like you go through an old person's attic and you find a radio, and you're like, man, they don't make them like these anymore. And it's like, well, they might have made shitty radios. It's just this was one of the good ones, so it's the only one left. We don't know.
Your grandparents paid $4,000 for this.
Yeah,
radio
exactly. I like to remind myself of this watching the old Planet of the Apes sequels, because we talk about how they've made so many sequels to shitty movies, and they've made so many Terminators and so on. And then you go back and watch those gems, and you're like, Jesus, they didn't stop, and none of these are very good.
No, they're all atrocious.
Yeah, but they just kept plowing on. It's like, fuck it, we're making another Planet of the Apes. Yeah. Man, this film.
Yeah, it's a film. It is a film.
Yeah, I guess it's technically a film. I don't know. I didn't hate this movie. I don't want people to think I hated it.
No, I mean, it's when the rabbit stuff is great.
It's a good background movie. If you're Agent Mulder going to sleep.
Yeah, for sure. If you're trying to go to sleep. I think this movie is kind of too dull to really recommend watching with friends. Hey, let's watch a crap movie. And this.
No, I'm thinking if you're having a party and you have music on and you have a projector or a big TV, you put this on in the background.
It could work then.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's it's for a movie to talk over.
Oh yeah.
To watch in the background, if you're doing work. Writing, not cleaning. This isn't a good cleaning one. This is a good writing.
That is how I watched this. I watched this movie at work.
There you go.
Working, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. It's just it's not that funny.
No, it really isn't. The only
and
there's
I appreciate
there's
that.
some kind of there's. That's always the hardest, and those were always the hardest episodes of Mystery Science Theater, where it's they're watching a movie that just sucks.
Yeah, I mean, Manos is, of course, the best version of that.
Right, where, the movie is so bad, even they are struggling to make the episode enjoyable, just because there's nothing to, make fun of.
Manos is my favorite example, because they keep showing shots of car trips in Manos, and, by, the third one, it's just dead silent car, and just one of them just starts screaming because there's just nothing else to do at that point.
Oh, yeah, or the end of the Wild World of Batwoman, when it goes into this 5-minute dance sequence, and then Tom Servo just screams, "And!"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because it's kind of in that category. And again, I appreciate that, because I appreciate campy movies taking themselves completely serious. The problem is the lack of, I want to say almost lack of charisma. Even DeForest Kelley, he's got nothing to do in this. Janet Leigh, nothing to do. No one has a personality in this.
Yeah, they're used very limitedly. And then at one point, DeForest Kelley's character doesn't get killed, but there's at one point we just don't see him again.
Yeah, and it's motherfucker, it's Bones.
Yeah, how are you gonna get rid of DeBonus?
How are you gonna do him like that? That's fucked up. DeBonus. Yeah,
how are you gonna debone DeBonus?
It's an amazing cast, an amazing plot, and the scenes with the rabbits are incredible. There's just a lot in between that there's moments. Yeah, there were moments where I was watching this, and a scene would end and a new would start. And they'd be driving or talking, and I'd suddenly be wait, I don't know what's happened. And I'd back it up, because I'd be I've been watching it, I've been listening to it, but my brain just shut right. I went into sleep mode, and my brain decided you don't need this. You don't need to actually retain this information. So yeah, it's fucking dull. And I don't think that's just because it's an old movie. I've seen old movies that aren't dull. It needed some personality. It needed a crazy, zany character. It needed its Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, it needed something. The acting there's some bad acting, but not bad enough that you can be really laugh at it. Right. It's just shitty kid acting.
Yeah, the kids are doing most of the acting. And God, they're all so traumatized. We forgot the part where the kid goes into the mine and just sees a man get murdered, and they cutting to her screaming really close to the rabbit's face, to the dead body, to her then in bed, like still like terrified.
Still
it's like
screaming.
They broke that child. That's amazing.
This kid does not work anymore.
Yeah. Can you
broke this kid.
Imagine having like a deep, like a guttural fear of rabbits for the rest of your life, getting that fear that early in your life. And just having to be like...
It changes you.
Yeah, at least you could explain later. You go to a fair, and there's a petting zoo, and, like, you're old enough to have processed it. You've gone to therapy. So you can kind of explain, like, you remember that time the army fried a bunch of rabbits on a train track, and they were giant? Yeah, I was there for that. So get your bunny away from me.
The smell has permanently burned itself into my nostrils.
Right.
It's all I smell.
I like that the last shot of this movie is a snap zoom on a rabbit.
Yep, little
like,
rabbit,
dun,
little
dun,
hole.
dun.
Yep.
Those were the things where I was like, you must be joking, right? Like, you must know this is funny.
I don't know that they do.
Yeah.
I really don't think that they do.
It's incredible. I'd love to be in the editing room for this where they're like, yeah, that's good. That's real scary stuff.
Man.
I will give this movie one scary shot, which is the scene where the little girl's in the mine and the body's being dragged into the shadows.
Oh, yeah.
That shot is good shot. Unfortunately, it's intercut with shots of a rabbit.
Shots of a close-up of a rabbit, which is like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, but that one shot, like, they could have done that scene where she goes in and sees the body. It's, like, no music, and, like, she's like, hello, mister, and then it just kind of gets dragged into the shadows. That would have been creepy.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, that's... Remake this.
Remake Night of the Lepus, you cowards.
Yeah,
Don't remake good movies. Remake bad movies.
Yeah, remake and gets Jason Statham.
Ocean's 11 this shit.
Yeah, let's see it happen. Let's get on it.
Do it.
Yeah.
That's a sode, I think.
Yeah, I've exhausted my thoughts on this.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think we. You know what? We did our due diligence here.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
We didn't have a lot to say about the film itself, but we still managed to dig into the hows and whys of this movie.
Yeah. I think it's worth talking about.
I think we did a good job.
Yeah. So special thanks to Bob Grenville. Bob Grenville. It's all one word.
Bob Grenville.
Bob Grenville. For getting us Night of the Lepus, as it's pronounced in the movie.
Thank you, Bob Grenville, for
this was a good
allowing me to watch this movie.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have watched it any other way. And again, it's like it feels historic in a way. Like it was. I appreciated watching it. I appreciate that this movie exists.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Tough to recommend it.
Tough to recommend. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody, thanks for listening.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah, Dave, tell them what's going on.
Yeah, this is part of our Patreon. So if you want to check that out, you go to patreon.com/gamefully unemployed. We have a bunch of tiers, one including exclusive podcasts like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman and Fox Mulder is a Maniac. We have a tier where you watch movies with us once a week. Every Friday we have a movie night. There's all sorts of fun stuff going on there. So fucking, check it out if you feel like it.
Get on in there. And you know what? We've got a store too, tpublic.com/store/gamefully unemployed, where we got all kinds of stuff. We got some new stuff coming. We've got it's just check it out.
Yeah.
Take a look.
Take a look. It's in the internet. Gamefully unemployed.
It's in a book.
It's our
Geordie LaForge.
Geordie LaForge. Oh, I want to watch Reading Rainbow now. Remember the episode where they do the making of TNG? They had a making of episode of Reading Rainbow. It was fucking great.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, let's do a whole podcast on that episode.
We should. Yeah, we could do an entire series.
Yeah.
Starting now. Let's be done. Can we be done?
Fine.